Hey guys, it's Brick Thunder, and today we're going to be unboxing, setting up, and doing a demo of the Lowe's Froggy's Fog Boreas S4 Snow machine. Alright, so first of all, I want to give a huge thank you to Lowe's for sending me this thing. I've always wanted a snow machine, but they're never affordable costs until now we're getting some retail versions. So there's actually even cheaper ones, but this is a really nice model that Lowe's is selling this year. So again, huge thank you to Lowe's for sending me this. This is a Froggy's Fog machine, so we can definitely expect high quality here. And this thing is pretty massive. This is probably the second largest Froggy's machine I have. I have a Poseidon, which is a low-lying fog machine, and that thing is incredible. So I'm super excited to check this out because, like I said, I've never owned a snow machine before. But I do want to use this for when we open during Christmas time at the haunt and just in my yard, just to make it look like it's snowing always, because it's a pretty cool machine. So let's get to the unboxing. Here we go. All right, so let's cut this thing open. First of all, I also wanted to mention that this is sold separately, so I bought this separately. This is the snow fluid for this machine. This is a long-lasting one, and because I'm going to be either using this outdoors or inside a very large space in the haunt, I wanted to get the long-lasting, whatever seemed to be the best for larger spaces. And outdoor, obviously, is going to require a lot more. I did read on the timing for this machine, like how long it can actually run, and it does seem like it's less than your standard like fog machine. It looked like at full output, we can only get about an hour. And that's what I read online, so we'll see if that's true. But I do wish it had a bit more runtime, and you can lower the settings to get more run timing. But because of how expensive the fluid is, it would be nice to see some more time. But I'm sure with the bigger machines you can. So here's our order confirmation paper from Lowe's there. And then let's open this up. We can see the machine right there. It looks awesome. This thing is a beast. That is a giant machine. You can see the fluid tank there. Let's take this thing out so we can see it in more detail. We also have a bag for the plug right there, and then also a timer, and then the instructions. So let's unwrap this thing. How these things work is they inflate this thing basically full of foam. I believe this is how it operates. The foam comes in here, and it just seeps out of all these little holes in the cloth. They're like literally microscopic. It looks like a normal cloth, but the foam can seep out of it. And then there's a fan right in here that blows that foam, the little tiny pieces of it, out into the air. And then it falls down and looks like snow. I did think this was a solid object. I didn't think it would actually get filled with foam. But when you see these operating, these things are completely straight out. So it must actually be filled with it. You can then see, like I said, the jug for the fluid right here. This does look like it can hold more than a gallon. I might be wrong, but it does look fairly large. We have all the controls. We've got a breaker switch, a power switch. We've got the adapter port right there. We have DMX controls right there, which is good to see. We have the high and low level fan. So that's where we can attach our remote right here. I was talking about that fog timer. And then we have kind of a settings panel. There's some digital like numbers, and then we can manually adjust the settings. So there's our power cord. Here's that timer. This very much looks like the standard fog timer, but this one obviously is controlling the snow. We have intervals, we have duration, and then the output percentage. So looks pretty close to a fog machine. Looks like it operates basically the same. Obviously, we are going to have to test this outside. So let's fill this thing up, and then we'll go outside and test it. So filling this thing is super simple. We literally unscrew the cap there, and then we're just going to slowly pour this in, and we're going to see how much this can hold. All right, there is the end of it. As you can see, a tiny bit spilled, but not too much to matter. We can see that it can hold a tiny bit more than a gallon. That is basically a full gallon right there. So you got a tiny bit more of another bottle if you want, but it is pretty much a gallon container right there. So we can screw that back on. Let's unwrap this right here. Like I said before, this is our power cord. So these go in like this and then twist to lock. And there we go. There's our power. And then we can do the same with our timer. All right, plug in the timer there, and there we go. We are ready to go. So let's bring this thing outside and we'll test it. All right, we are outside now, and the power is on. So let's turn this thing on. As you can see, it's propped up. There's the volume. I want to make sure you, oh, it's already starting. It is really starting already. Wow. You can just see how massive the volume of this machine is. This thing filled this part of the yard so quick, and it goes really, really high. There's things all the way up there. Let me see if you can see it when I zoom in. Way, way up there. Before I go test this again with more of my Christmas display, I wanted to show you guys what it leaves. It leaves something along the lines of this. It was a bit crazier right when I turned it off, but it is starting to disintegrate. And I wanted to show you how easy it is to disintegrate this stuff. This is not going to leave a mess at all. Eventually, this is going to completely disappear. And as you can see, if I touch this stuff and kind of just move it around like that, it is gone. And my hand is not wet. It's such a weird feeling because it just disappears. It's kind of like fluffy, but then it really goes away really quick. It's pretty impressive, and it doesn't stain clothing or anything like that. So it's a really cool effect. And right after you turn it off, when it's all over the bushes and all over the floor, it really looks like it snowed. So that is definitely an added bonus that I didn't even think of, because I was just picturing it more as a machine that goes in the air, makes it look like it's currently snowing, but I didn't even think about the aftermath. All right, so I've relocated a bit. We're next to Bumble in the present stack now, so we can see how it looks with the display. So you turn it on and it goes instantly, which I love. I think that's so cool because I'm so used to fog machines, which take literally forever to heat up. But this one really just goes, and as you can see, it covers this place. It's not quite high enough. I do wish I had something to lift it up a bit better, but as you can see, it looks awesome with this display. And here's the aftermath over here. All right, so the Boreas S4 from Froggy's Fog and from Lowe's. This thing is really, really cool. I'm definitely very impressed by the output. I'm impressed with how well it does outside, because these things are usually for indoor or for concerts and stuff like that. So it's meant for a large area. But if you also put wind into the equation and just the vast outdoors, I wouldn't expect it to run as well as it does, especially from the floor. If you had this thing lifted, it'd be even cooler. So the price point on this thing is $500, and then the added cost of replacing the juice. And as you can see, this thing already used a lot of juice, and I did not run it for very long. So I think those times online are definitely accurate. It did say kind of just under an hour, and I would say maybe even less than that at the full output. I did not do a full test of the lower settings. I was at the full output for everything, so that is why. But if you want it running as well as it did, then you're definitely gonna have to have a lot of juice on hand or be ready to order a ton more juice. That's the only downside to this. Other than that, this thing is really, really cool. So next year when we open for Christmas at the Haunt, you will definitely be seeing this machine along with maybe some others, because as I said at the beginning of the video, these things are becoming more and more affordable for great machines as well. This is a Froggy's machine, and it's a big one too. It's not their smallest one. I believe there are smaller snow machines available at Lowe's. This one is definitely one I recommend, but there's other options too if you're looking for bigger or smaller. So again, a huge thank you to Lowe's for sending me this machine. This thing is great, and thank you guys for watching. I'll see you guys in the next one. Bye.